Hello, can everyone see and hear me? If you can see and hear me, say yes and tell me where you're from. And I'm gonna close this door so that you don't hear background noise. Looks like Tammy is here. We have a friend from Pennsylvania joining us. Oh, good. Yes, you can hear me. Denver, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Missouri. Oh, and good. Yes, you can see the picture. Excellent. You just see the picture, not me. Are you on your phone, Valerie? Kendra can see and hear me. Hello, Lauren. All right. We're going to get started because this one's a little bit of a longer one. Welcome from Washington. I love it when so much of the country is represented. These are all states I want to go to. I have not gotten to travel a ton in my life. Oh no, you heard me, but now I'm frozen. Uh-oh. Beb from Wisconsin. Yay! Did you get snow this morning too? Oh, driving to work was fun. Who all has snow by them? Comment with a snowflake if you have snow by you. I want to know who all has snow. All right, we're going to get started here. Like I said, this one's a little long, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So this is our Sunset Float Melt and Pour Soap Kit. It just launched this week, so you are the first ones to see it. Yay! Here at Simply Earth, our oils are pure, they are affordable, and they are easy to use. We love teaching you how to use essential oils. Type a heart if you've been with Simply Earth for a while, or type new if this is your first time ever hanging out with us. My name is Tessa, and I've been with Simply Earth for a year and just about a half, just about 18 months. And I used to be with another essential oil company. And as I've said in a couple other lives, God bless the broken road that led me straight to Simply Earth. To borrow a country song. Who likes country? I'll give you some music notes if you like country. So I learned a lot with the other company. But one of the things that I learned the most is that you really need to research the company that you're with. And I became very discontent with the company I was with. And the Lord brought me to Simply Earth. And this is such a fantastic team that I get to work with. We often joke around that we're each other's family and we adopt each other. It's just a privilege and an honor to work here. We have amazing teammates and coworkers. So one of the coolest parts is that we give 13% of profits to end human trafficking. And that's a passion around here. It's not just something we talk about and use for marketing. We have boards and charts, and it's like in our common areas, and we talk about that, and we talk about who we're supporting this year and this month, and it's wonderful. So I am so blessed to be able to work here. If you have questions about purity, you can always feel free to contact us. But also on our website, if you scroll down on our single oils, you can see the GCMS sheets right there. So we're very transparent and very open about our purity of our oils, which another thing I love from my 13-year essential oils journey now. I think it's been 13 years I've been using oils. So what is the Sunset Float Soap DIY kit? Well, it's a do-it-yourself kit where you get to make your own beautiful soaps. You can see, oh, my head's covering it. It's very tiny, but you can see them up there. That's what we're going to be making today. I'll show you. I'll bring it closer to the camera so you can see it in a little bit. It's not really a job if you enjoy it. It's so true. What is that expression? If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I think that's it. I tell people all the time when they ask me what I do for a living, I said I get paid to do my hobby. I love teaching people about essential oils. I have taught people privately, one-on-one, publicly in classes of 50 or 100 people, in people's homes or in conference centers with DIYs, with just lecture style. I've been teaching for probably 10 years and I love it. And now I get paid to do it. So I get paid for my hobby. I love it. It's so great. This month's box makes your 12th one full year. Happy anniversary. Which box was your favorite, Kendra? I would love to hear which one was your favorite. So fun. I love this. You ordered this box yesterday. Yay, good for you, Holly. Then you get to see how to make it, hopefully smoothly. Lives always make me nervous. But you get to make it with us, and then when it arrives on your doorstep, you will be a pro. You will have all the tips and tricks you need. Has anyone else ordered it? Has anyone else gotten this box? I think there was a teaser email about it. Have you ordered it yet? I just realized I keep pointing to this and you can't actually see it. There, that's the box I'm pointing to. All of them. Yes, all of our recipe boxes are amazing. All right, so what's in this kit? We have citrus burst essential oil. We have coastal cactus safer fragrance oil. It's not technically an essential oil. It's a fragrance oil, but one of our next slides will tell you why it's different from normal fragrance oils. We have shea butter melt and pour soap, a loaf soap mold, perfumer's alcohol. That might seem a little bit weird in a soap kit, but you will see why we put it in there. We have soap wraps and labels. Excellent for gifting, or if you plan to sell these, like at a farmer's market or something. Straw. Why is there a straw in there? There's actually 2 straws. And the recipe card, because you can't make a recipe without a recipe card. Soap doesn't have to be boring. Your routine should be lovely and beautiful. Did you know that most soaps you buy in the store aren't actually soap? They're detergents? Yes. Very unfortunate when you learn that. This kit uses a nourishing shea butter melt and pour soap for a much gentler and lovelier routine. It's very true. I love shea butter soap. It makes especially in wintertime, it's just very moisturizing. When you're washing your hands all the time with littles and junk in the air, you don't want a soap that's drying and stripping. You want something that's going to moisturize and make your hands feel good. It's not just a bar of soap. It's a creative project that lets you play with vibrant pink and yellow swirls and soap frosting. I'm not going to pipe it today. It's just a little bit too much for a live. I'm just going to spoon it on kind of like whipped cream, but it is pipeable. You can put this in a piping bag and pretend it's cupcakes or something. You could totally use this soap frosting and make a cupcake style soap, which is really cool. It's got tropical vacation vibes. Who doesn't want that in the dead of winter? The citrus burst and coastal cactus, it's like a summer getaway. It's wonderful. Everything is included. There's no running to the store for extra ingredients. There are a couple common kitchen items like spatulas, bowls, a pair of scissors, but most people have those in their house. But even like the detail of perfumer's alcohol is included in here, so you don't even have to order that as an extra. Every once in a while in recipe boxes, there'll be something that's like, we couldn't fit this in the box, or we just didn't have capacity for it. So this might be an extra that you may want. Otherwise, you can use a canning jar from home. This box has everything you need. So it's really great. I will say, if you wanted to use other mica powders, you could order other mica powders. You could very easily make this any color you want, but I personally love the colors that Katie picked. They're super, super cool. All right, this month's aromatherapy palette, we have citrus. Oh no, the images didn't get swapped. That's my bad. I totally missed that. Okay. So it's citrus burst essential oil blend, not sleepy. The image is wrong. The text is correct. I missed the image. I'm sorry. So we have citrus burst essential oil blend and we have coastal cactus fragrance oil. Citrus burst is one of my favorite Simply Earth blends. Absolutely. It's like summertime in a bottle. Super great for cleaning. Also, citrus oils are great for getting like sticky residue from like a store bought sticker. It gets that off. I don't even have Goo Gone in my house anymore. I used to buy that, and now I just use citrus oils. Citrus Burst is great. Coastal Cactus, safer fragrance oil. This one is paraben free, phthalate free, dye free, and sulfate free. It's like a weekend getaway in a bottle. All right, so these are your ingredients. I was going to do this while opening the box, but I can't really do that here. Okay, I'll just open it and show it to you as I open it. Mica powders, perfumer's alcohol, the loaf mold. Did I say leaf mold earlier? We have those too, but those are tiny. Loaf mold, shea melt and pour soap base, and then the straws, the wraps, the labels, all those things too. Can hardly wait to get your DIY Sip and Suds soap kit. Yes. Alcohol pops the bubbles on the surface. Ah, Holly, you know the trick. You're so smart. You must have been with us before for other soap. I feel like if I could give you extra credit, I would. You get a sticker on your sheet. All right, tools you'll need. Soap cutter or knife. I have this guy. This is a soap cutter. When people talk about soap cutters, this is what they're talking about. But you can also use a kitchen knife. Totally fine. You're not going to want it to be serrated because when you cut your soap, when it's all done, you want it to have nice clean edges. So don't get a serrated knife. Get a regular knife. You want pitchers for melting the soap. You can use measuring cups from your house. You're going to see me use a bowl and a measuring cup. The bowl is a little bit tricky because it drips down the side, so I don't recommend bowls, but it was what I had available today. All the other tools are being used for developing other recipe boxes and kits for you. So I'm using the tools I have available. You'll need an immersion blender. That is sort of a typo. You can use an immersion blend. Not really. I would use a mixer, like what I'm going to show you, a hand mixer. And then a thermometer. And when we say thermometer, these are the best ones to use, in my opinion. Some people try to use candy thermometers, and that's fine. Then you can't ever use it for food. I wouldn't, because otherwise your food might taste soapy. And these tend to be more accurate. I've tried other thermometers, and these get me the best results for DIY projects. It just seems to hit the mark on temperatures better. What size measuring cups? Great question. I recommend a 2-cup. You're not going to be able to read that. I recommend a 2-cup measuring cup, and I recommend 2 of them if you have them. Or you could use like a 2 and a 4, or a 4 and a 6 cup. But I wouldn't go under 2 cups. You'll see why. Is this for the original subscription, or is this a new one? Yes, thank you, Kendra. It's a standalone kit. And then you'll need a microwave or double boiler. Okay, so hero safety check. Patch test your soap first. Everyone's skin is different. Small amount on your arm before using it as like a body soap in the shower. I recommend using this as a hand soap anyway. You could use it in the shower, but I recommend it as a hand soap. Dilution is key. We calculated safe ratios for these recipes. Stick to the recipe cards. Feel free to change up the oils. If you're like, ooh, no, I hate citrus, I'd rather have florals, absolutely, you can do florals. Nope, that's a cold process tip. Never mind. Different kind of soap. You could do florals. You could do a woody scent. You could do herbal. You could do like a lemon rosemary. Like that would be good. But stick with safe dilution rates. If you're not sure, there are a lot of really good dilution charts in the Hero course. So check that. Pets and kid safety. Some oils require extra care around pets and kids. So check safety guides. They're usually on the bottles. check the website if you're concerned. Nothing that we give you is medical advice. They are for wellness, self-care, not for medical conditions. If you have any specific medical needs or are worried about it interfering with a condition you have or a medication you're on, always consult with your doctor. All right, let's make it. And I'm going to, here we go. All right, can everyone see me big now? I hope so. Okay. There we go. Okay. These are what we're making. This is it wrapped. This is it freshly cut. Good, you can see me. Good. All right. Here's the kit. This is our loaf soap mold, not leaf. I'm just going to set that aside for now. This is our melt and pour shea butter soap. 2 pounds of it. This is our perfumer's alcohol. And yes, you will need the spray top. And I love these. When you unpackage everything, don't throw it away. It makes a fabulous catch tray for all of your ingredients and tools. This is what it looks like when you open it. Some really fun straws, your labels, your soap wraps, your mica powders, and your recipe card. And then you've got your oils down here. Set that to the side so I've got room in my workspace. You can all see this, right? Okay. So, recipe card. It's got the stuff from your home, which I mentioned. The one thing I forgot to put on the slides is tape. You can use the labels as tape if you put it on, like if you put it on the front, kind of like this, how they wrapped this one, it kind of works. But I recommend getting regular clear tape, or if you want something a little fun, you can also use washi tape, and that adds a little bit of color to the outside too. And you can write on it, like you can write a little note to somebody. So tape is on here. And this recipe card also has the note in case you forget after the live about a non-serrated knife. So you're going to cut your soap base into 1-inch cubes. If you read the ingredients, it says the 2 pounds is divided. So when it says that, I like to read through the recipe. How is this divided? How am I cutting this? So you're going to use about 3/4 of the package for the first part of the recipe. So when I cut my soap, I'm going to cut it into quarters, and I'm going to set a quarter aside. Something I learned the hard way is that this saran wrappy stuff is very thin. And so you want to make sure you actually do get it all off your soap. Otherwise, you might have like a stray piece somewhere that ends up in your soap, and that's no fun. It didn't happen with this recipe, but it did happen with another one. So just take your time. Think of it like a birthday present or Christmas. You want to take your time. Okay, I take my time unwrapping gifts. My kids just rip it open. Okay, so I'm going to do half. And then half again. half-ish. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm gonna set this aside for later. So I'm just gonna remember that there. And then this is gonna be in 1-inch cubes. 1-inch-ish. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like to try to break them apart. They just melt faster that way. The soap guide for the recipe box. Subscribers can use all the info on swapping essential oils. Yes, it does. That is a great guide. Is the soap all natural? Yes. I believe our safer fragrance oils are the only thing we have that is not 100% natural, but they are the cleanest fragrance oils I've ever seen. And I've done a fair amount of research on fragrance oils. Everything else we have is natural. And even some of our essential oils, you have to check which ones on our website. Some of them are even certified organic. So, are the straws paper or plastic? Paper. They're paper straws. Hello from Philadelphia. I love seeing where everyone is from. It's so great. Terry asked if the soap was all natural. So if being 100% natural is important for you, you may want to swap out the coastal cactus in this one. But again, like I said, it's the best fragrance oil I've seen. But you could easily swap it out for another essential oil. Your smell of your soap just won't last as long. It won't be as strong on your hands throughout the day. Okay, I'm going to start this microwaving. A microwave is much faster for a live, but a double boiler is a little bit easier to monitor temperatures. So I just got soap on my glasses. When I'm doing this for myself at home, I typically use a double boiler. Well, there's just going to be a smudge on my glasses, and that's just the way life is. Okay. So this is going to be saved for later, but since that's in the microwave anyway, I'm just going to cut it up now. All right, that's all cut up. If I were in the kitchen, I would go wash my hands because they're all soapy and I don't want to get that on my other supplies. I planned ahead because I'm not in the kitchen. This is just a warm washcloth. This is not something you need to make this recipe, just if you plan to teach it live. This is not a special ingredient. It's getting liquidy. We're getting close. Does anyone else have any other questions I can answer right away? Doesn't look like it. All right. So we're gonna go back to instruction number 1 because we got partway through it. We're gonna now place the spray cap on the perfumer's alcohol and cut both straws to 3 equal pieces. So we need 6 pieces total. You'll notice a little bit too long for this, so we're gonna cut that. So I hold it up here so that it's equal, and then mark right about there. And I also cut it at a bit of a diagonal, not straight on, because it can like kind of suction to the bottom if you cut it straight. So I put a little diagonal in it. Getting close. Okay, our perfumer's alcohol is ready for us. This comes with the kit. You can also use rubbing alcohol if you have soap at home, like from one of the recipe boxes. You can absolutely use rubbing alcohol to pop the bubbles on the top as well. And it also helps the frosting part. Whenever you do soap in layers, you need isopropyl or perfumers or rubbing alcohol to adhere the layers to each other. It's like a glue. So we've given you soap glue. Okay, you can be real precise and get a ruler and measure these, or you can just kind of eyeball it and hope for the best. Some of it is going to be, oh, that's actually not bad. Some of it is going to be shoved into the soap frosting anyway, so you're not going to be able to tell if they're all equal lengths regardless. So don't stress about that. As long as you've got 6 lovely straw pieces, you're good to go. That's a loud microwave. Is there a way to put words on the bottom as you speak? I don't think there's a way to do closed captioning live. When you watch the replay, you can hit the closed caption button. And the microwave is super loud because this room is mostly empty, so it echoes. And Holly, is there closed captioning in the upper right? That would be helpful. We are so close. And that's why I put cardboard on the floor. Okay, that is super close to melting. I'm gonna get this ready because I'm gonna need that for halves. We cut the soap, we put the spray cap on, we cut the straws, we've set all of that aside. We've got this melting, and then we're gonna stir occasionally, which we've been doing until it's fully liquefied. Then we're gonna remove it from heat, and we're gonna stir in the essential oils and safer fragrance oils. All right, so citrus first. And I like to put that when you're opening multiple bottles with caps and lids and things, I like to put them on opposite sides. You don't have to, but just so I don't get the smell of this and accidentally put it on the wrong bottle, I just put them away from each other. If you don't have this tool at home, I highly recommend it. It's great for a ton of DIY recipes, and I think it's like $5. It's called, I always get this wrong. One of my coworkers may have to correct this and give the link. I think it's called a bottle opener tool. I've, for over a decade, called it an essential oil key. But I'm pretty sure that's not what we call it on our website. So if I say use your key, this is what I'm talking about. It just slides under the cap and you lift it up. You don't have to like mess around with trying to pry it up with your nails or a butter knife. This just is made to slide in. And then also these holes here, if you've never used those, we give you recipes for roll-ons every month in your recipe box. That's what this is for, to push that rollerball top on. So these two slide on and take caps off. These three push caps on. Super helpful. If you don't have one, please get one. It made my life so much easier. I'm pretty sure this is ready to go. So as you stir it, you're kind of trying to feel if there's any chunks you missed, that maybe you cut it a little too big and so it took longer to melt. But I think this is fully melted. Okay. We need 150 drops of citrus burst, which is about 1.5 teaspoons. I like to recap my oils right away because I tend to be super klutzy and spill things. Okay, and we need 1 teaspoon of the coastal cactus. It takes a little bit to get those to mix in with the soap. If I had used a bigger bowl, I could stir it a little bit more heartily, I guess. Thank you, Heather. Yes. Thank you. Bottle opener key. Yeah, that's what I've called it for years. Do you sell that on your website along with the soap cutter? We do not sell the soap cutter. This is Amazon, probably. They're not expensive at all. And actually, you can get them with a, shoot, I wish I brought it up. There's like a wood frame with slits in it that you slip this into, and you get perfectly cut pieces of soap. Which, when we start talking about cold process soap in the next couple of weeks, will be a very handy tool to have. But it's on Amazon, super cheap. What temp should soap be when adding essential oils? That's a great question. You typically, any recipe you make, lotion, soap, anything, you typically want it to be around 110-ish, maybe 120. The problem with this soap specifically is that it needs to be a little bit warmer to get the colors to mix. Otherwise, if it's too cold, they won't swirl well. You'll have a gloopy mess. So is it ideal to add essential oils at this temp? Not ideal. They do lose a little bit of potency. And this is, again, why the safer fragrance oil is helpful, because it helps retain some of that. Essential oils are a little bit more temp touchy. Safer fragrance oil is not quite as temp touchy. But I totally understand wanting to go 100% natural. I did not start using safer fragrance oils until we carried them. Um, I appreciate the therapeutic benefits of essential oils a lot more. So I just formulate most of my recipes around essential oils, but safer fragrance oils, they carry a scent longer. So if you want a longer lasting scent, safer fragrance oils are the way to go. What could you use if you don't have these oils? Okay. I was gonna say any oils you want. I assume you have some essential oils? Okay. Um, so we need to divide the melted soap evenly. So we have about 26 ounces of melted soap here, um, which is on the recipe card. I'm not a wizard. Um, so I'm going to use this for safety. So I need to get about 13 ounces of this into here, which is why I said 2 cups, because I can see the 12-ounce mark on here. It's starting to cool on me a little bit quickly because I'm doing this as a live and I'm focused more on talking than I am on doing. Okay. You're going to use all of your mica powder packet. Lost my text message feed. Yes, quite a few. Okay, you can use really any essential oils you want in here. It just depends on what you want it to smell like. And like I said, if you despise the color pink or yellow, you can use different mica powders too. This is just what comes in the kit. So you Simply Earth recipes, most of them, I'm not going to say all, some of them are very ingredient finicky, but most of them are customizable. If you don't like mango butter in a recipe, like a lotion recipe, you could swap it out for shea butter or cocoa butter. It's going to change the texture, but you can swap it out. This recipe, you can swap out the mica powders, you can swap out the essential oil, you can swap out the safer fragrance oil. Katie and I were just talking earlier. Could you swap out the soap? Like, could you make this with the glycerin melt and pour soap base, and would it turn out clear? And so the bottom part would be clear, but the top part, because we whip it, we think would turn out weird, cloudy, milky colored. So for fun, we kind of want to test it and see, can we swap out the soap? What happens when you whip glycerin soap? We don't think it'll work. Does the little tool come in the box? No, the little tool does not come in the box. And Holly has a really good point here. Wouldn't use hot oils. So if you're somewhat new to essential oils and you don't know what a hot oil is, hot oils are things like cinnamon, clove. Peppermint is sometimes called a cooling oil, which is confusing because it's, for aromatherapy purposes, often categorized as a hot oil because it has an icy hot effect on your skin. It If you get it in your eye, it will burn like the Dickens. Ask me, I've done it twice. It burns like a clove would, but it also has, because of the menthol, it has a cooling effect. So peppermint in a soap, I've done it and I really like it. It's very fresh and clean and invigorating, and it actually gives the soap a cooling effect. Um, but I absolutely would not use that soap anywhere in the shower because the steam will greatly enhance the effects, the heat of that hot oil, because it is categorized as a hot oil. I hope that made sense. A lot of the things I know are more by trial and error than by reading it, so I don't have the technical, educated lingo. I can just tell you mistakes I've made. I have a lot of them. I think the tool is under $4 on the Simply Earth website. Yeah, okay. And yeah, the 10%, if you add it to your recipe box, you get 10% off anything you add to your recipe box order, including DIY kits. So if you're a recipe box subscriber and you order a DIY kit with your recipe box, 10% off. But yeah, that I don't remember how much that tool is. One of my coworkers posted the link. You can click that. $2.99. There we go. And that's before the 10% discount. Look at that. So affordable. And it's a game changer. I would even argue life changer. What color would you make this soap? Would you stick with the pink and yellow, or would you change the color? Any guess on amounts for other oils? Or would they be similar amounts? It's experimentation. My gut says that they would be pretty close. But again, it depends on the type of oil you're using. So when I put peppermint in my soaps, my summertime soaps, I go way down, way down. I do also have at Christmas time a citrus clove soap, and the clove is like barely noticeable in there. It's like a hint of clove. So I would not stick to these if you're doing anything like that. You could do lavender at the same 150 drops. That would be totally fine. Trying to think of others. Frankincense, eucalyptus. I might be a little bit careful of. It would probably be fine at this ratio, but I'd be a little bit careful. I don't know if you'd like copaiba in a soap. It's really good for your skin. Copaiba has great skin properties. You may be wondering why I'm stirring this so much. Mica powder has a tendency to leave little powdered dots when you stir it in. And so I'm trying to like smush those up against the sides and make sure that it's fully incorporated. Otherwise, when we cut this later or when we use this later, there might be like a little pop of powder in it. So I'm trying to make sure I get all of those out. When you're making cold processed soap, the immersion blender does that for you. But when you're doing melt and pour soaps, you have to make sure that you do it by hand. So it takes a little bit longer to, you might be able to see it on the side, like me squishing them, I guess. And you also want to make sure you scrape all of that soap up off the bottom. Otherwise, you're going to have a top half that's colored and a bottom half that didn't quite get mica coloring. Okay, we've got those two set and ready. Pink and purple. Change the color to purple and white. Hey, those were my high school colors, purple and white. Pink and white, check the consistency, and if you match consistency, your measurements are the same. Are we talking about consistency of soap or of essential oils? Could we add the color to each bowl first and then add half the amount of essential oil to each bowl so it goes into less hot soap? Yeah, it's more math, but you can totally do that. Absolutely. Okay, so we need to let both of these cool to about 125 to 135 degrees, which I am certain we are under because I enjoy talking and answering questions. We are at about 109 and 103 degrees, so we are well under. I'm actually a little bit worried that they've cooled too much and may not adhere very well. So, yeah, see, like there's a little bit of a skin on top of it, so it's actually cooled more than I would want it to. But you're not going to see me cut this one. I pre-made one that we're going to cut together, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, now we all get to pray together that I don't do this super messy. Ready? You're going to alternate pouring them. They might pour into each other a little bit. You're kind of going to swirl them around like this. Maybe pour a little bit more of that one, and then pour a little bit more of this one. Pour a little bit more of that one. Zigzags. Maybe do a circle. Pour a little bit more of that one. I wish I had a top-down camera because it looks super cool when you're pouring. I just don't have a way to show you how cool this looks. You get some really cool patterns, and the mica powder is like sparkly and like shimmering in there. Oh no! The motion sensor is by the door and it doesn't realize I'm still here. Or is that the who? Is that Horton Hear the Who? We are here, we are here, we are here. Yeah, see, like that, it's too cold. When you're doing this at home, it won't do that. Okay, so this gets set aside. Don't spill it. I'm gonna go turn my lights back on so you can see my work area. Okay, now we are moving on to our frosting. So while the swirl layer cools, we're gonna melt the remaining soap base, this right here, which we've already cut. And then we're gonna melt it, and then we have to wait till it cools just a little bit to 150 degrees, and then we're gonna use the mixer, and we're gonna whip the soap into a thick, fluffy, similar to whipped cream, but still warm consistency. So it's not gonna be cold like whipped cream, it's gonna be warm, but it's gotta be about 150 degrees. And this is really where it's super important that you have the thermometer. That part, not crazy important. This part, more important. So if you forget to check the temp on that, don't freak out, don't stress about it. This part, probably better to check. Try to clean this up a little bit so you don't have to look at all my mess. Not sure why I put that over there when my catch tray is right there. Something else that you may want but don't need, or like a little stir stick or a skewer or something. If your swirls aren't swirling the best, you're like, this is just like layering, or you forget to swirl it and you're just like going and going and you just dump the two of them like this and you're like, oh no, this half is yellow and this half is pink and it's not swirled. You can use a skewer and just stick it in there and do like back and forth, front and back, diagonals, circles. You can use a skewer, a crazy long toothpick, a chopstick, anything like that. You could use a straw. I wouldn't recommend the ones that came with your kit, but you could use if you have like a McDonald's straw or something. Does McDonald's still do straws? Do you have to ask for them? I haven't been to a McDonald's in years. there's a whole lot of chatting and I'm missing some of it. Let your soap sit about 30 seconds and mica chunks will float the spray alcohol and pop the bubbles. Sometimes it pops mica bubbles, sometimes it doesn't. I found that sometimes mica powder, and I don't know if this is a temp thing or what, but sometimes mica chunks bubbles will actually sink. I don't know why. I haven't figured out why sometimes they float and sometimes they sink. So I'm just very careful to like press them against the edge of the bowl every time. Consistency of your essential oils. Oh, that's a bonus. I didn't know it counted as 10% off. Yes, they count as 10% off. Always at anything you're going to order, add it to your recipe box order. That is one of the biggest perks of being a recipe box subscriber. 10% off. I think everything. Doesn't take much alcohol. Nope. Figure eights work great for swirling. They do. Indeed, they do. Plastic knitting needles. Yes, I have a plethora of knitting needles. That would work great. We're at 177, so we want it to cool a little bit more, but not too much. If it gets too cold, it doesn't like whip super great. You want it still pretty warm. There we go. 152. Told you it wouldn't take long. Okay. Fair forewarning. If you thought the microwave was loud, this thing's ridiculous. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to like turn off your audio, and I'm not going to talk while doing this. It's too loud. So mute your audio. It's very loud. Okay. Hopefully you turned your audio back on. This is the whipped cream consistency we're kind of going for. See that? Put it against my black shirt. I did this on purpose. I coordinated my outfit so you could see what I was talking about. So I like to get as much off the beaters as I can. However, you are working with a slightly temperature sensitive thing. So if you waste a little bit of soap so that you get it on there quick enough, that's totally fine. I always just screw up. Don't waste anything. All right. Good enough for a lie. Okay, so now we're gonna bring this guy back. Also, side note, because I know someone's gonna ask, can you add essential oils to this? Yes. It does affect the whipping a little bit. So not a lot of essential oils if you're going to use them. Also, any essential oils with color will color your frosting, which could be good. Maybe you want it to be a little bit colored. Mica powder also affects the whipping a little bit. You just kind of have to play with it. A lot of DIY is experimentation. Okay, now is the part for the alcohol. Oops, good note. When it comes, this is locked. There's a little, there in front of my face. There's a tiny tab here. You need to push it to the side, otherwise it won't spray. So spritz that really good. This is your glue. You need it. See, talking too much. You gotta be pretty quick with this step. I also need to be careful because when I did this earlier, I pushed a little bit too hard and my soap spilled out the sides of the mold and made a mess. So, as I've told you before, I'm klutzy, so we're gonna do that just in case. Don't do this on a really nice tablecloth or your favorite carpet. You do want to push it, oh, see, did it again. You want to push it a little bit because you want it to adhere to the alcohol down there, but you don't want to push so much that it overflows. And I have not perfected that perfect amount of pressure yet. Because I was talking, mine is going to turn out a little bit papery. It's probably the best way to describe this. It's not. It started solidifying before I molded it. If you're making soap frosting, like Christmas gifts, Valentine's Day gifts, as a small business, soap frosting is one of those things you want to do in real small batches because you've got to work real quick. It doesn't forgive much. But it's really fun to play with. You can also kind of use it because it hardens fairly quick. It's actually a really fun soap dough recipe too. We have a soap dough recipe. It's in the hero kit. It might also be on our website. If you look up soap dough, you might be able to find it. It's got cornstarch. But this too, this specific frosting method works as a soap dough as well. I've gotten this quite a bit messy. All right. Like I said before, if you're just tuning in, nothing magical here. It's just a warm washcloth because I'm not near a sink. I'm in an office. So I'm going to very carefully set this aside. Oh wait, no, the straws. When you cut them, you may need to reshape them a little bit. They might get a little meh. You're going to put them in 3 to a side. It says like dice, like a 6 on a dice, but you probably don't want to put them in straight up and down. They look a little bit better at a tiny bit of an angle. And you can try it up and down, but like when you have a drink, your straw isn't typically straight up and down. It's a little angle. And you want them to get a pretty good grip in there on this frosting, because the frosting just by nature has air holes in it. So as it hardens, you want it to really hold that straw. Okay, we did that. Now we have to let it cool completely. It usually takes several hours. If you absolutely have to speed it up, like you have a live in the afternoon, you can put it in the fridge. And that's exactly what I did with this guy down here. So I'm going to carefully move you here. And ta-da! Oh, look at that. It cooled so fast. My kit won't be here in time because they haven't shipped it out yet. I was hoping they would ship it out fast like they usually do. Won't be here in time. Like for the live? Like for this? Okay, these molds are a tad bit of a trick. They have a suction to them, and you have to break the suction. So you pull on the sides like this, pull on these sides like this, and then you very carefully, if you have long nails, this is much more important than if you've got tiny short ones like mine. But you gotta get your fingers in between the soap and the mold and push it out very carefully without your nails hitting the edge. And you'll feel that suction on the bottom let go. And then you just kind of slowly work it out carefully without dropping it. Sometimes it's helpful to have a second set of hands. Okay. To protect Jenna's nice tablecloth, I'm going to put down one of these just in case the mica powder from the soap colors anything. I don't think it would, but Jenna uses this for our photos and videos, so be extra careful. Look how pretty. You can see I poured pink a little bit too much first. But this is what it looks like when it's done hardening. Okay, and so then soap cutter again, or just a non-serrated knife. Whoops! See, spilled soap on that too. Messy. Okay, I'm gonna cut it down the middle first. Again, if you're really precise, you could measure this and make sure you get it exact. I'm just going for approximate because we're on a line. I'm not gonna be that picky. Take up your whole afternoon. So about half there. Still a touch soft, but look at how gorgeous those swirls are. Oh, I hope my camera's catching this. They're so pretty. All right. Then, oops, got some frosting on it. If you don't have one of our soap saver bags, soap bags, oh, if one of my coworkers is on, can you get the link for it's the blue mesh soap bag. That has been awesome when I have weird little accidents and spills like this. I can take all of these scraps like this and just put them in that bag, and it helps my kids wash their hands. It gives me a quick way to wash my hands, and then none of this goes to waste. It all goes in that soap bag, and then we can still use it. Sometimes I have failed soaps. I tried an in-bed thing a couple weeks ago. Awful failure, just astronomical. Did not work, did not look pretty. So I put it all in one of those soap bags was great. So you can kind of see the soap cutter is catching the frosting. So this is one instance where I actually don't recommend a soap cutter and I recommend a knife. This isn't quite as hard as it should be when I'm cutting it. I just made it this morning. I would have left this sit overnight before cutting it. See how pretty? Doesn't that look fun? After using your mold several times, yeah, it will loosen. It gets more flexible. Absolutely. Aw, thank you, Holly. Yes, they are. This is a great kit. Katie put this one together and she did a phenomenal job. Okay, so the soap wraps. I don't really have a one size fits all way to tell you to wrap these. This one was wrapped so that you could see the top. One of my coworkers wasn't thinking for seeing the straw and she just wrapped the whole thing and then like did a little crunch flower thing around the straw and that looked really cool. She used like a little piece of string to tie it and that looked really cool. You can just, you could leave the bottom if you wanted to show the colors on the bottom of the soap. You could just wrap it like this around. I mean, there's a ton of different ways to wrap it. So I don't really know which way to show you. It's just kind of figure out your style and wrap it however you want. Don't forget the sticker so people know what it is. So I wrapped mine a little bit thinner in the back so you can see the colors. This one was wrapped a little bit more in layers in the back so you can't see the colors as clearly. But the wrapping job looks much more like a present than mine. So there's a myriad of ways to wrap it. Mine shows the colors, that one looks more professional. So it just, however you decide to wrap it, there's no one size fits all. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Foam your soap wonderfully. Yes. Coffee filters also make good soap wraps. Yes, if you're not getting this DIY kit, maybe you don't like the mica powders or these specific oils we picked for you, maybe you want to try it with glycerin and see if it works. Again, we don't know how whipping glycerin works. We're both excited to try it, but you can also use coffee filters. Or maybe you make this recipe once and you're like, yeah, I want to keep making these, but you don't want to buy the kit every time. You want the full-size mica powders, or you want one of our 8-ounce bottles of oils and you want to make these in bulk. You can use coffee filters. You can buy soap wraps on Amazon, like brown paper ones. This one is super cool for gifting. So for Christmas this year, I'm planning to make these in bulk. And I'm not buying a bunch of DIY kits, but this is such a great way. I really enjoyed learning how to make these. Um, so great. If you're like, those are cute and I want to make those as gifts, get the DIY kit first, learn how to do it, great instructions to walk you through it, all the ingredients you need. Then after you've gotten the hang of it, you can buy the full size perfumers alcohol, the full size mica powders, the full size fragrance oils. So it's pretty cool. This is such a great kit. I'm in love. This is one of my favorite DIY kits. Thanks. Adorable with the frosting showing. I don't know. You are very welcome, Dana. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy spending time with me. I'm glad my tips are helpful. It's just a lot of trial and error. Like I said, I've made tons of mistakes. You are very welcome for sharing with you. I'm gonna check. I feel like there's a couple more slides, maybe. We've already spent an hour and 10 minutes together. But let's just see. Oh yeah, a couple more things to mention. You can win a $100 gift card if you share photos of your soaps. Doesn't even have to be this kit. This kit would be cool. We love to see your photos of our kits. But if you take what you learned today and you apply it to any other Simply Earth soap creation, just use hashtag I made this. I would also recommend at Simply Earth. It's easier for us to find you for that $100 gift card. But hashtag I made this and you get entered to win a $100 gift card. And that's every month. So remember to do that. We have 2 melt and pour DIY kits. If this one was like, I'm a little intimidated by the frosting, that looks like a little bit too much for me, we also have a loofah melt and pour. And you stick loofahs in a 12 cavity mold and then add again, mica powders and essential oils to the soap base. And then you make 12 little loofah soaps. Comes with the soap wraps, comes with the labels. So you have 2 options for DIY soap kits. Both are available. This one that we just made together today just launched this week. So you are the first to see it. If you already know you love soaps or you had so much fun today learning these 2 techniques, technically you learned 3 techniques today. You learned soap frosting, you learned a swirled soap because we swirled the colors together. You also learned soap layering. Pretty cool. If you loved this and you loved all of these techniques, we now have the Soap Hero Kit. You get to learn to make 13 different soap recipes. One of them is cold process soap. I've been working on this for months, since August, and so exciting. When I first started working with lye, was absolutely terrified of it, was afraid of getting chemical burns and inhaling fumes and like all the horror stories you hear about lye, right? Now I've made 3 for Hero Kits. There's 2 more coming. I've made 3 separate Hero Kit formulation recipes. Love them all. So great. Melt and pour is fun. After a while, you're like, okay, I've melted soap 100 times. Cold process opens up a whole new world. Different additives like botanicals and clays and pumice powder and all these things. Different colorants like micas or turmeric powder or beetroot powder. So many different things. You can customize the oils and the butters that you use for saponification. It is so much fun. I make new recipes all the time with it. I would never go back to the days when I didn't know cold process. I was afraid, I learned, and now I'm delighted. So yes, Lisa as well. So if you're wanting to make one small, it's the same mold, the same loaf mold. If you're wanting to try a very small batch of cold process soap, you don't want to get into making cold process soap, but you're like, I'm curious about it. I want to try it. I want to be safe with it. We've got the video is in editing and will be uploaded to the Hero course as soon as possible. I'm hoping Monday, before your kits arrive. But this kit is so great. You get to learn so many different kinds of soap things. There's a shave soap. There's a sudsy sugar soap thing. So much. I feel like there's one or two more slides. This is the Hero course. If you're a Recipe Box subscriber and you are not in the Hero course, get access. It should be in your email. There's also a QR code on the back of one of your recipe cards. This course is so great. Tutorial videos, note sheets, ideas, free customizable recipes. You get your 6 recipes in your recipe box every month. We give you a minimum of 12 other recipes for free every month. If you're not using this course, you are missing out on one of the biggest perks of being a Recipe Box subscriber. You get customizable recipes every month that you can add whatever oils you want. You can customize your carrier oils, your butters, your colors, your molds. We give you so many tools and ways to take your learning to the next level. And we make it super easy and super approachable. So if you're not in the Hero course, you're not even getting half the value of your recipe box. You're throwing away half of your recipe box every month. So get in the Hero course. It's super fun. It's super cool. And you learn so much. And the last thing is Q&A, which you guys have been asking questions all the way through. I'll hang in for another minute in case you have any other questions you want to sneak in here at the end. Katie is doing a live workshop on February 19th. She's going to be making recipe box recipes with you. So hopefully your box arrives before the 19th. And if you have any questions about any of the recipes in there, if you've got questions about the oils, if you've got questions about the ingredients, if you want to customize one of the recipes in the recipe box, Katie will be here with you at 2, and she can answer your questions live. You can watch her make things step by step, just like we did today. Pro tips and tricks. Like me, she's made mistakes too, and she learns from them and she passes them on to the rest of us, which I just love. She's so open and transparent and shares all the tips and tricks and hacks. And Katie does live giveaways. I'm not that cool. Katie does live giveaways. Soap is an excellent month of the Hero kit and course. Yes, soap is one of our most popular months. It's fun. You can do so much. And who doesn't use soap? So they make amazing gifts, like the best gifts. Red, white, and blue. Yes, that would be fun. Oh, a note on purple and sometimes blue mica powders. If they're in sunlight, it will fade. Something about the bluish purple hue mica powders, it fades in sunlight. So if you're making it, don't display it in sunlight. And also know that over time it will fade. So if you gift it to someone, tell them use this quickly. Don't put it in direct sunlight. So that might be a factor for your red, white, and blue one. Just a note. Also, if you're doing the white frosting and you're swirling the red and blue, be very careful to do them at a slightly cooler temperature so that you don't mix your red and blue at a hot temperature and they merge and just become a purple block. But yeah, because you'll see, I'm sure you saw there are a few little areas in here where it's actually more orange than it is yellow and pink. So just know that that could be a thing. But look at this swirl. Look how cool that one turned out. Pretty neat. All right, what else do we have? My box will be here early next week. Yes, and ordered it yesterday. Yes, our packaging and shipping team is on it. They were having a rough time after Black Friday. You guys, we loved how much we saw going out the door with the Black Friday sales. They got a little behind. It took them till about Christmas to catch up with all of you. We were all excited about it, but they're on the ball now. They're doing a great job. I was down there this morning talking to them. Are we making a cold process soap kit? Yes. It's in the Hero kit. Let me show you. This one. So this soap Hero kit has a cold process soap recipe This is a really good beginner, I've never touched lye in my life, cold process soap recipe. Super basic, super beginner. I'm going to say safe, but as I was talking with my husband last night, who's working on power tools, remodeling our house right now, safe is a matter of perspective. So as safe as lye can be, we have tried to make it super simple, super safe, give you the confidence to work with it safely but effectively. So this hero kit is, if you're wanting to try cold process and you're nervous about it, this soap hero kit is the way to go. Our cleaning hero kit that we're going to be launching in April has 2 cold process recipes in it. They're super fun and they work really well. Everyone who's been testing them is just amazed at how great these recipes work. But I wouldn't really call those 2 quite beginner. They're kind of more intermediate cold process recipes. Still great. I just wouldn't have somebody do that as their very first ever cold process recipe. I'd have them do the one in the soap hero kit first. No sunlight in your shower. Excellent. That's fantastic. I do have a friend who has a window in her shower. They have a upstairs bathroom that was just sink and toilet, and they wanted to put in a shower. And the only way to do it and not lose all light was to put like a little cutout shower window. Anyways, it's funny. So no sunlight in your shower. That's great. Absolutely perfect. If you're showering with these specific soaps, I recommend maybe not putting the straw in because they are paper straws. They might disintegrate in your shower and that might clog your pipes. So if you know you're making this recipe for your shower, I would leave out the straw. Not quite as cute, but it is a great course. Yes, the hero course is amazing. It's so good. What time on the 19th? Here it is, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. So the same time that this one was. Whatever time it is at your house or whatever time it was when you tuned in. Same thing for Katie. All right. Any other questions? Anything quick? I don't want to miss anybody. You guys have such great questions. I love answering them. I love teaching. I'd stay on here till 6 with you if you wanted to make another recipe, but I need to get home to my kiddos. Any other questions? I don't see any. If something pops into your head after we're done, because inevitably I stand up from my computer and then something pops into my head, just tag me, the Facebook Recipe Box Subscribers group. I am Teacher Tessa, so you can ask a question in there. Just tag Teacher Tessa, and I don't always catch them all. My Facebook notifications are very full because you all are you chat and help each other and tag me in things. I love seeing your creations. I love seeing your soap recipes. I love it when people tag me in their cold process recipes because this is new for me and I'm learning from a lot of you, actually. It's fun to learn from my students. So if you tag me in there, if you have a question or you want to show me something cool, show me that you made this. If you use the soap bag, the straw won't matter. Yeah, it might get stuck in the mesh in there though, if it degrades. No questions, but had a great time. Yay, I'm so glad. All right, I don't see any other questions. I think we're all good. I think I answered everything. But again, tag me if I didn't. I'm on Facebook. I will get to everything eventually as I get through the notifications. I love chatting with you guys. It's so much fun. All right, you all have a great rest of your day. Have a phenomenal weekend. Tune in with Katie on the 19th. She's got lots of fun stuff planned, and we will